Hi guys, Greg Denning. You know, the world has become increasingly more and more negative and pessimistic. And the news is negative. You know, all the media is negative, and people are whining and crying and complaining all the time. And it seems like everywhere you go, it's just wow, 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 and just, oh, this has gone bad and that's going bad, and the government this and the world this. And man, the sky is falling everywhere, right? But we don't want to live like that. We want to live with optimism, and you can. And so in this video, I want to teach you how to be more optimistic. But first, a story from Lord of the Rings. You remember in the first book, they're going through the old forest, and it's dark, and it's dreary, and they just have this heavy feeling, and they get really sad. And they start getting pessimistic, and they're down, and then they're just about to give up hope, you know, with the old willow and the old forest. And they're really... they're letting their minds and their thoughts go, and they're just about to give up hope. And down comes the trail, singing and dancing, is Tom Bombadil. And he's just happy as can be, and he tells the old willow to knock it off, and he's just so happy. And he gets the hobbits, takes them back to his house with Goldberry, and they're the perfect hosts. And the hobbits get there, and they feel their optimism, and they feel their excitement, and they feel the safety and the security and happiness and joy and the peace and comfort, right? And they're just like, yeah, and they just bask in that. And that's the kind of people we want to be. Right? You want to be the Goldberry and the Tom Bombadil. You want to be the people that are just optimistic, that when you walk into a room, it's lighter, right? It's better. It's brighter. When you go into a meeting, people are like, man, I'm glad she's here. When you go to church, when you go to work, when you go to study, when you go to your classes, wherever you are, you're light. You're not like, oh, crap. They just came. You don't want to drain the party. You want to be the optimist. So how can you be more optimistic? A couple of great principles. Now, I grew up in a broken home. I ended up out on my own at an early age in a dark place, surrounded with people doing dark things. It was hard times. I struggled with desperation and depression, and it was really hard to be optimistic. But I learned to do a few things. Number one, always count your blessings, right? Find something to be grateful for. And though it's hard to believe, there is always, always, always something to be grateful for. So count your blessings, write them down. In the morning, wake up, count, or write down a few things you're grateful for. Do it again in the evening. Be very, very specific. Don't say things like, oh, I'm just grateful for my life, or I'm grateful for my family. Name specific people, specific things. You know, you can't just say, I'm grateful for my health. What are you grateful for? I'm grateful for a thumb, a finger, to smell, to taste, to touch, to see, to hear, to walk, to be able to move. Right? Oh, count those things. Go through and be deeply, deeply grateful. And what'll happen is you'll start to notice more things you're grateful for, and it just nourishes optimism. 2, keep perspective. Right? It's so easy to look at the negative. So whenever you meet a person, whenever you are in a situation, whenever there's an obstacle or a challenge, whenever you're looking to the future, remember perspective. You and I have a choice. We can see the negative or we can see the positive. We get to choose. So choose to see the positive. 3rd, and this one is so important. I love to say that input determines output. Okay, input determines output. What we put in is what we get out. There is so much garbage out there and so much negative energy in the movies and the music and the media and people whining and complaining and, oh man. So guard and protect what goes into your mind and comes into your life and your home and your family, right? Make sure it's all positive, all good. Read great things. Read inspiring things. Make sure you're getting inspiration every day and just feeding and nourishing your optimism. And guess what? It'll grow. But you got a tree inside you that's pessimism too, and if you nourish and feed that, it's going to grow. So don't do that. 4th and final for this video is be careful what you say. You know, some people go through life and man, they just carry around this dark rain cloud over their head, and everywhere they go, it's like, oh, my health this, and injury this, and oh, this is bad, and woe is me, and join my pity party. Oh, and it's just this rain cloud of pessimism all the time, and they walk around, and it's just like this dark shadow. Don't do that. Refuse to talk about negative things unless you absolutely have to. And if you do, see it in a positive light. Come with a solution. Don't sit around complaining about your problems. Say, here's a challenge, here's an obstacle, here's a situation of chance to grow, to learn, and here's possible solutions, right? Always talk about positive things. Think about positive things. Talk about positive things. Look for the good in everything. Keep that perspective. Count your blessings, and I promise, you will become more optimistic every day, and then you'll be a source of optimism that people will turn to when they need hope. There's a lot of people just dragging themselves through life, and they're losing hope. Be a beacon of hope. Be that light. Be that energy. Be that excitement. Help lift the world and make it better. Okay? Now, come over to gregdenning.com. Tons of great resources there to help you be optimistic, because I learned this. I learned it, going through a hard life. I learned how to be a total optimist. And now I am an optimist through and through, and I love it. And it brings so much blessings and so much light to your life. Visit gregdenning.com. Subscribe to these videos so I can send you more stuff, and reach upward.